Billie Eilish just said millions of animal lovers are fake. When Billie Eilish recently shared her thoughts about eating meat, she probably already knew people would react strongly. And within hours, social media exploded. Some people praised her honesty. Others called her privileged, dramatic, or even hypocritical. But beneath all the arguments was one uncomfortable question that kept resurfacing. Can someone truly love animals while also eating them? That was the core of Billie's argument. She explained that she finds it hard to understand how people can deeply care about animals while supporting industries built around killing them for food. She wasn't demanding everyone become vegan overnight, and she admitted people are free to make their own choices. But in her view, saying "I love animals" while eating them feels contradictory. And whether people agreed with her or not, her point wasn't completely unreasonable. The reason her comments hit so hard is because many people already struggle with this idea internally. Most people genuinely love animals. They feel emotional watching rescue videos online. They adore dogs and cats. They hate seeing animals suffer. Yet at the same time, many rarely think about what happens inside slaughterhouses or factory farms because it feels far removed from daily life. Psychologists even have a name for this conflict: the meat paradox. It happens when people care about animals emotionally while also participating in systems that harm them. The brain tries to balance both ideas at once, which can create discomfort. And honestly, some of the reactions online seem to prove that point. One meat eater gave a surprisingly balanced response. Instead of attacking Billie, the person admitted that meat eaters often become defensive whenever veganism is discussed. They pointed out that sometimes the endless explanations people give for eating meat can sound less like confidence and more like guilt. Their message was simple: people should be secure enough in their own choices to hear different opinions without immediately feeling threatened. Another commenter talked about the reality of the meat industry itself. They described the fear many animals experience before slaughter and questioned why society reacts strongly to cruelty toward dogs, while often ignoring similar suffering involving cows or pigs, animals that are also intelligent and emotionally aware. What made these responses interesting was that they didn't even come from strict vegans. Some of them openly admitted they still eat meat themselves. They simply understood why Billie raised the issue. Of course, critics pushed back hard too. Some argued that veganism can be expensive or unrealistic for many people. Others accused Billie of hypocrisy, saying celebrities often lecture the public about morality while living extremely privileged lifestyles. And to be fair, some criticism came from understandable concerns. Food choices are personal. Culture, income, health conditions, and upbringing all influence what people eat. For many families around the world, meat is simply part of normal life, not a moral debate. But somewhere along the way, much of the discussion stopped being about the actual issue and became more about attacking Billie herself. Because even many meat eaters admit something important. If there were a way to completely remove cruelty and suffering from food production, most people would probably support it immediately. That alone says a lot. Deep down, most humans dislike cruelty. The problem is that modern food systems create distance between consumers and the animals involved. Meat arrives packaged neatly in stores, disconnected from the reality behind it. That distance makes it easier not to think too deeply about where it came from. And Billie's comments forced people to think about it. That's why the debate became so emotional. Not because the topic was meaningless, but because it touched on something many people already wrestle with privately. At the same time, the conversation revealed another truth. Humans are complicated. People care about animals while still eating meat. People care about the environment while still contributing to pollution. Nobody lives a perfectly ethical life. And most people live with contradictions every single day. One commenter summed it up perfectly by saying humans often ignore suffering when they don't have to witness it directly. As long as cruelty stays hidden, society learns to normalize it. And maybe that's why this conversation spread so quickly online. Because Billie wasn't just criticizing food choices. She was challenging habits people grew up with. And when lifelong habits are questioned, emotions rise fast. Still, whether people agreed with her or not, the discussion itself mattered. It pushed millions of people to think more carefully about where food comes from, how animals are treated, and whether personal choices reflect personal values. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. Not that everyone suddenly has to become vegan, but that conversations about animal welfare and food ethics shouldn't instantly turn into outrage and insults. So now the question goes to you. Do you think people can genuinely love animals while still eating meat? Or do you think Billie Eilish actually made a fair point?